Let's talk about pet theories and fantasies. Specifically, pet theories and fantasies about all the ways we think life will go, all the ways we think our projects will go. You know, I've noticed that this is a huge trap you can fall into. Falling into your ideas about what you think is going to happen, and then having your face fall flat or hit the brick wall on what is actually going to happen. This is a very easy trap to fall into, because the thing is that when it comes to thinking about reality, we are only going to be able to go off of our direct experience. We're only going to be able to go off the network of knowledge that we have, what we know. And the thing is that if we haven't actually accomplished that thing yet, then all we can do is come up with ideas that we think can approximate that. You know, funny enough, even if it's like laid out by another individual, like a plan, for example, even like how they have like a roadmap for like going to university, it doesn't include the realistic application of how you yourself are going to make it through university, or the realistic roadmap of how, you know, you yourself are going to accomplish that business plan. And with whatever, you know, if you want to specifically do something someone else once did, you know, you want to acquire what you admire, how you specifically from your unique situation can get from where you are to where you want to be, it's all going to be ideas. And so it can be very easy for us to easily delude ourselves into thinking that we are going to just make it if we just do steps A, B to C. Like, just assuming, you know, here's a huge assumption, is just assuming that it's going to work out. Why would you assume that? It's an easy, safe assumption to make, to assume it's going to work out. But really, that's on it not working out is completely on the table. That is completely an option. And you have to be prepared for that. You have to be prepared for things not going your way. And actually, that's where a lot of the resilience comes in, is the self-reliance, you know, the self-resilience in, you know, how do you act and how do you prepare when things aren't going your way. With whatever plan you have in your life right now, I want you to prepare to completely hit that brick wall again and again. You know, imagine like whatever plan you have right now, that plan you have is not going to work. But the thing is that you still have to carry through with it, because you don't know what direction to pivot next until you actually go through with it. Now, this is where getting a coach or finding someone that has gotten what you want and then paying them to tell you what to do, that can save you a lot of trouble. And I think that's massively undervalued, because a lot of people don't see that kind of value until they realize that they hit their head against the wall again and again, Why not pay someone that's already done that? So I want you to right now, I want you to think about your pet theories. I want you to think about how you believe it's going to work out. I want you to think about your plan. And I want you to try and assume, that it's not going to work. And assume that you're going to have to pivot, 10 more times before you actually get on the right path, before you're actually doing the right thing. This is like a pre-mortem technique, Before shit goes left, you anticipate that. And you see it through, that you are ready to correct your trajectory. Because the worst thing that can happen is that you fall flat on your face and then you lose all of your motivation because you weren't expecting that. Setting wrong expectations about a situation will completely fuck you. When you expect it to go one way and it doesn't, and it completely hits you in the face, that can be demotivating enough to make you completely quit your endeavors altogether. And I think that is what unfortunately happens to a lot of people, is that we will quit. A lot of people will quit because they did try, but then once they hit their face against the wall a couple times, they just didn't get back up. They just said, you know what? This isn't for me. Now, there is a time and place for yourself to say, this isn't the path for me, when you're just trying and nothing's moving. But when it comes, this is more so with, different kinds of situations. But I believe when it comes to what you really want out of this life, you have to be an individual that doesn't know that giving up is an option. I think about, for a very concrete example, I think about that kind of inspired this talk, is that I will have my fantasies and pet theories about how I think it's going to work out when I actually finally apply myself with YouTube and, make videos designed to be viral. But then I realized, hold on. More likely than not, I'm still going to struggle a heck of a lot like everybody else. Maybe not, because maybe I have some superior insights around, the effort putting around a video and really picking the correct idea. But maybe I'm completely wrong. Because the thing is looping back to what I said earlier, I just have ideas about how it's going to work out. I actually don't know how exactly it's going to pan out until I actually go through the direct experience. So with whatever you're thinking about in life, make a distinction between actually going through it and your ideas about it. And I can think, you can also talk about how this idea will completely apply to when it comes to picking your career, picking your job that you want to do. I know for myself that there was what my fantasy was about what being like a mechanical engineer was or a product designer was. And then there was the actual direct experience of the job. And those were two very different things. And what I noticed that is that I've noticed that we can go through an entire education, suffering through all of that college and university, to end up in a job where we realize that we don't even like the direct experience itself. And so when it comes to figuring out what you want to do with the most of your life, think about the day-to-day. Like, what's the monotonous shit that happens when it comes to being a rocket scientist or, an event coordinator or a singer? Like, what's the sucky part about it? Look at that and see if you can enjoy that. See if you can endure putting up with that for 40 years. So I want you to notice when you have fantasies about how things will go, and have and then make a distinction between whether or not you actually have direct experience on that matter. And this will help you a lot, I think, when it comes to making bets about where to place your eggs in your basket when you're going through life. And it can help you to make more safer decisions, just smarter decisions, decisions that are more acclimatized, tuned to actually what is. So watch out, especially when your mind gets on a roll, when it's like, oh, it's gonna be like this, and you're actually enjoying the fantasy process. Like, that's all good and all, but don't get lost in that. As if you get lost in that, you can easily delude yourself and miss the bigger picture, and you can miss the actual direct experience that you can miss the reality of it. And then when your ideas don't line up, your face is gonna hit that wall. So with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. It's all about theory versus practice here, in a nutshell. Anyways, I will see you in the next one.